All right, so I'm going to do a video on regression and doing it using the graphing calculators. Now I have two calculators up because some people are still using the 83 plus and some people are using the 84. Unfortunately, I don't have an InSync emulator, so I can't. Not an InSync, sorry, an Inspire simulator. Um, so I can't actually do it on the Inspire. But here's how it works. Let's say you have a group of data, and you want to find out how you want to find out the regression for that data. So what you're going to do is you're going to enter your data into here, into your stat. Now you can see I have a bunch of data already in there. There's two ways of clearing a list. You could go up and then press clear, and then press down and it's cleared. But let's say you have lots of data, you just want to clear everything. You can press second in memory, and then you can go to 4, and it says clear all lists, and you press enter again, and it's done. Go back to stat, go back to edit, and voila. Now here, I'm going to go on, and it's the same thing. So let's say I have 45, 54, 62, 63, 72, and 77. And these are your x values, all right? We're going to call L1 our x list. And let's say the corresponding values for something like 47, 54 again, we'll say 61, 62, 73, and 75. Now, I know this is a little bit redundant. I'm going to do the same thing on this calculator. I'm going to put in the same data, and 45, 54. And there are a couple of things that you have to be aware of. And I'm going to do my best to make sure I don't forget any of them. And it is a little tricky using both calculators. So whatever calculator you're using, obviously you can just pay more attention to that one and then kind of ignore the other one. 54, 61, 62, 61, 62, 73, and 75. Now, the other thing I'm going to recommend doing is this. At any point in time during this video, you're not sure what something is, you might want to stop it and start writing down notes on how to do this on your calculator. So L1 I'm going to consider my x values, L2 will be my y values. Now, before we continue, you have to go to mode, and you have to go down, and you have to make sure that the stat diagnostics are on. And if you don't make sure the stat diagnostics are on, you're not going to be able to get your R value, which is going to be important. So I'm just going to quit. Here, if I go to mode on this calculator, you'll see I don't have that option. So what you have to do is you have to press second and 0. 0 gives you the catalog. And what I do here is I go all the way down to diagnostics on, and I turn them on. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stat. I'm going to go over to calc, and I want the linear regression. So here it says x list is L3. Well, that's not true. I want my x list to be L1. My y list to be L2. The frequency of the list I'm just going to leave as is. And I want to store this regression equation someplace. So I'm going to store that in here. So I went to vars. I pushed over 1 to y vars. Function, I'm going to store it in y1. And then I'm going to do calculate. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go to stat. I'm going to go to calc. I'm going to go down to number 4. And now, here's the difference. Here I actually have to press Shift and L1, comma, Shift and L2. And now I want to store in L1. And I'm going to press store. I'm going to press vars and go over to function y1. And now it says quit. And so I had this problem before, and it wouldn't, for whatever reason, it wouldn't let me store it. So that's fine. I'm going to show you how to get around that. So when I do that, you'll see we get the same values. Now, this is y equals ax plus b. So what I could do is I could just take this number and write it down, and then take this number and write it down. But here's the deal. The r squared is the determination coefficient, and this is the correlation coefficient. So 0.99 means that it's very, very, very correlated. The x values and the values that we have are very correlated, which means that we're going to be able to draw a straight line right through them, pretty close, using this equation. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say y equals, and I'm going to copy that number 9, 1, 9, 2, 2, 4, 1, 5, 9, 1, x plus b, which is 4.85, 4.89811. And if I graph that, it looks like this. And that's my line. Here, if I go to y equals, it's already graphed in for me. And if I graph it, now my graph is a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go quickly back. I'm going to just take a quick look at my list. And my list looks like my lowest value is 45. Oh, sorry, my assistant Phoebe has just joined us. So we're going to go 45. So 40 to 80 will be my window. Please, you have to please stop touching that. So I'm going to go to my window. I'm going to do 40 to 80. And I'll do this. Oops. I'm going to do the same here. 40 to 80. And now when I graph, it should give me a line. I'm going to have to adjust my window here as well, and you'll see why in a second. 40 to 80. I'm going to go in groups of 5, and then 40 to 80. Once again, I'll go in groups of 5. And if we want to see how close this line is the best fit. Oh, you found a quarter. Well done. I can turn this on. You turn on your graph, and you have to select the first one. And when I select the first one, I still have to be careful to make sure that I'm using the right list, which is L1 for my x values and L2. You can change, if you don't want boxes, you can change to little crosshairs like this. And then when I graph it, you can see there they are. Once again, I'm going to go second in y equals. I'm going to turn this on. The first one's already selected for me. This one I'll use the little boxes that are selected, and I'll graph. And you can see there's my values. And look, this is the line of best fit, and you can see that it's very, 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 very close. And that's why our correlation was so high. Our correlation was 0.9 something, and I'm going to redo that real quick. I go to calc, take a look at 4, everything's the same, and you can see it was 0.99, which means that the line of best fit goes almost perfectly through every single box. Remember, if it's a correlation, your R value is Thinky Daddy. Yes, Thinky Daddy. If your correlation is 0.9 or above, it's very strong. I'd say even 0.8 is quite strong, but you know, some people say it should be 0.9 and above. In any event, that's it. I hope you got something out of this. And like I said, use whatever calculator you're doing. Make sure you know how to use it. And take down the notes, write down the steps, and that's all. All right, thanks. Enjoy.